craftaholic friend. I'm super excited to share the project today. So this is our Sisters in Strength kit that is a collaboration with Blessed Be. They are the ones that provided the napkin design we're going to use for this kit. And again, I'm just super excited because I've been able to partner with another Christian business to put this kit together and bring it to you, and I just can't wait to see how this turns out. So we're going to unpack it first. And I had Bev from Blessed Be kind of pick which project she wanted to work on, and she chose the adorable farmhouse sign. So this is what we're going to be using. And one of the things I love about this particular sign kit, which I do sell the signs individually in black and natural, and then of course the white, is it has these tiles that are removable, and I also carry the tiles by themselves too. So you can have one frame and you can get multiple tiles and then still change it out, and so you have multiple ways to use this or to gift this. So it's just a super fun, base for projects. So we're gonna pop this out and put this aside for right now. And I'm gonna show you, you're gonna have a couple pieces of ribbon we're gonna be using here. We have a piece of jute that we're gonna be using. You have your Mod Podge, we're gonna put that aside. You have your brush. And then we have an assortment of flowers here we're going to be using for the frame. We'll just put those aside. And Blessed Be also provided the sweet little charm that we're going to be using on the frame. And these are going to vary. We have ones that say love, we have ones that say hope, we have ones that say faith, this one says faith, and then there's also ones with crosses. So it'll be a surprise which one is in your kit. And then this is the gorgeous napkin that she designed, and I just can't wait to see how this turns out. So let me put this aside here. And then some other things that you're going to want to have handy if you're doing the exact same way I'm doing, or just if you're working on this project. Of course, you're going to want to have your cup of water for your brush. You're going to want to have, I'll be using a glue gun for this particular project. Always recommend either a Ziploc bag or some saran wrap so we can press out the wrinkles in the project, and then paper towel and probably some scissors. And as I'm looking, these are not my best scissors, but we're going to make it work. I have an 11-year-old who likes to steal the good scissors, and now I understand my mom's pain when we were younger and she said we cannot use the good scissors. So, you know, it all comes back around, I swear. Okay, so we're gonna get started. We're gonna be using the tile. The tile is two-sided and it is wood. So sometimes there's, you know, just little darker spots or whatever. So I'm just gonna use the lighter side for this, and it is a square. So it doesn't matter which side you use. But we're gonna do a decoupage first so it can dry before we do the frame. I'm just gonna rearrange some stuff here. I'm going to tear the design because we're only going to be using this one portion of the design. And then for the way I'm going to do it today, I do have a little little sandy block. You can also use a fingernail file, so don't get hung up if all you have is a sandy block. And you know what? I'm actually going to stop tearing and I'm going to cut this for the way that I'm going to do it. There's a bunch of different ways that you can do the edge and the design. So for the way I'm doing it now, because I do want to cover, I'm not painting this. You could paint it like a white, which I do have white paint. But for today, I'm just going to do exactly, I'm only going to use what we have in the kit for the tutorial. So I did tear it a little bit. And the reason is, for me, it's easier for me to separate the layers if there is some jagged edges I can work with to separate them. So what I'm going to do now is just find the very top layer of the design. This is a 3-ply napkin, and we only want the very top layer. So you'll see it's practically see-through when you get the top layer. And you just want to carefully work it around the edges. I wouldn't rush this part because we don't want to tear the actual design. We're just carefully peeling off that top part. Okay, and that is the only part that we need. So you can see it's a little transparent, very dainty. Let me put the other aside. Okay, so if you watched my last tutorial, you will see I went all crazy and covered the whole thing because that's what my 11-year-old son does, and it did not work for me. So I'm going to go back to how I usually do it, which is I just do the middle first because I want to get it centered, and then I will work my way out from the middle. So I just do a stripe right down the middle, and then I need to get this design centered to where I want it. So you can see the some of the flowers are going to overlap on the top and bottom, so just make sure you have it where you want it and just lightly press. And now that I've got the center done, I'm going to just pull it back to where it would be stuck and add some more Mod Podge and work it out. Alright, so we're just going to do one side at a time, gently pressing out. And see, I did not get the corners here. And my kitty just opened the door and came in to say hi. I don't know if you heard her. Oh, she's leaving already. Evidently, she just didn't like that the door was sort of closed. Hex, I swear. Okay, now we're going to work the other side. And again, we're just taking our time. This is not, you don't need to be in a rush at all. I feel like sometimes I might go a little fast on the tutorials because I feel like maybe you're waiting for me, but probably not. Okay, so you can see I've got all of the edges pretty much tacked down here. Tearing it. And you can see we've got a little bit of some bubbles in there. So this is what we're going to do to get the bubbles out. We take our Ziploc bag, or you can use saran wrap, and we'll just place it in the middle, and I'm going to gently work everything out. And this is how you get a nice flat design without bubbles. And then you do want to make sure you just get it off quickly there, because if you let it sit too long, it's going to get a little tacky. So I'm actually going to let that sit because I don't want to work it too much while it is drying. So I'm going to put that piece aside, and we're going to work on our frame. Alright, so I'm just going to bend these back down so it's not poking up on me. And, alright, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this. I kind of want to do a stacked little bow that I saw on YouTube yesterday when I was trying to get ideas. So I'm going to take the longest piece. I cut kind of a longer and a shorter one, but I'm going to take the longest piece and I'm going to glue one end of that. You don't want to stick your finger in there because depending on how hot your glue gun is, it can really be an issue. Okay, I kind of got this in the middle. I did not, so we're going to move it. I mentioned before I have a low temp glue gun. I'm very clumsy with glue gun. Alright, so I'm just doing that. And then I'm going to do another one. Actually, I think I'm going to cut this. I'm going to do something down. I'm cutting it in half, and I'm angling the edges here. These two together. And you can do the embellishment for the bow or whatever, however you want to do it. This is the part where we give you the extra pieces to just get creative and do whatever you envision to make yours unique. So you don't have to do it this way. Alright, so what I'm trying to do is I want this part a little bit smaller than my original. feel like I'm sawing with these because, again, not my best scissors. Alright, let's tack this down. This is actually working well because my bow is sticking to my actual it's sticking to my actual the mat, which that's working for me. Okay, I'm just trying to see. I want it smaller. I don't think you're going to be able to see any of this when I'm done, but we'll see. Alright, so I've got just 2 little loops glued there. And I still have some of this left over, so again, I'm just going to half this. And I am going to diagonal the ends so I don't get frizz later on. Oh, come on, Melissa, you can do it. Alright, and I'm going to just mirror what I have here. Two little pieces, you can see, I'm just kind of layering them up. Picking up all the little strings at the ends. Okay, so I've got those 2 pieces, and I've got all these little fun things to use too. So I think I'm actually just going to layer everything right on top here. That one. Yeah. I mean, these actually all have a hole, so I think I can just poke everything through the little flower because this one has a stem. So I can just poke right through like that, and then I can do another little bit of glue, and I can poke the next one right through too. So these layer very nicely. Okay, how sweet is that? Okay, so that worked out great. And then I just have a little extra flower I'll put aside for another project. Okie dokie, so I want, with my charm, I actually want it to hang down. So I am going to just do a loop, and I'm going to knot this over here. I do need a little bit of string to knot it, so I'm just going to get it on there. I'm going to pull the knot down to the end. Alright, so you just have it hanging on there, and I'm just trim off the excess. Alright, so I have my little charm hanging there. And I'm going to make a knot at the top. Maybe not. I don't want it to be too bulky. Okay, I changed my mind. I am going to cut. And I am going to use this little string around here. So I'm just going to do another knot at the end of this one. I think I'm just going to do a regular knot. Let's see how that looks. Alright, so this is how I'm going to do my knots. I'm just going to have the one hanging with the little tag and the other one just chilling. And I'm going to put that right on my bow tails here. Brush here. squish it together if you want it to hang more together. Alright, so here's my little tiles that I've got stacked up. Obviously this one doesn't have any weight, so it's going to kind of just do its own thing. And we're fine with that. Okay, so with the last little piece, with the last little piece of tool or jute that we have, I'm actually going to tie it around the middle, and I'm going to just tighten this up to give it a little bit of life. Now because there is glue there, it's not going to want to look as great as I envisioned before I started this tutorial, but here we are. Either way, it's going to give me some more area to put the glue on, and so that's fine. This burlap ribbon that I have is a little bit thicker. There's some plastic in there. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start stacking this. So we're going to stack our stacked bow that we made first. Push that on there nice and good. And then I'm going to stack my flowers right on top of that. I am going to place the flowers a little bit further down because you can see we're getting kind of big here, and because this does have the little extra piece there, I'm going to put it right up behind it so that the flat part of the flower is sitting on the bow, and then it's not going to come out as far that way. Be generous with the glue. You're not going to see any of this, so I'm just going to kind of butt it right up. If I was going to do this again, I might actually do these like a little bit higher so they weren't exactly stacked, but you can mess with them a little bit. The burlap with the plastic in it does have a little bit of give to it, so you can just kind of play around with it, do what you want to do. Alright, I'm liking that better. Okay. So here's our little bow. So I think before I place it, I'm going to finish the little tile first so I can see. I don't want it to cover any of the words, so I'm going to put my little bow aside and come back to my tile. So what I'm going to do first is I am going to take my sanding block and I'm just going to go across the edges. And you can see it's just coming right off, and it gives us a nice clean edge. Because this is dry, I can grab it and not have any issues. We are going to do another coat, but I just want to clean it up first. You can also do a lighter, and I have a video of that on I think Instagram and TikTok, where you can just light this and it'll burn all the way around if you want like a burnt edge. I don't like doing that indoors. I'm always afraid I'm going to set off my fire alarm, and that would be bad because right now everyone's sleeping when I'm filming this, so yeah, not a great way to wake up. Okay, so now that we have this done, we do want to do another layer of the Mod Podge to just seal it. And again, this is a really light, hopefully you can see it. This is just a really light layer. You do not want to work this too much because I have, I mentioned this in the past, I have got too crazy working it and I've actually smeared the design because this is just black ink. And technically, if you were just going to be using this anywhere where it's not near water or anything, then you could not seal it, but I am going to seal it. And I noticed I just got a little piece of my eyelash or the brush in it. So again, it might be a good idea to have tweezers as well. Alright, we're going to press this one more time. You want to use a different section than you used before so that it doesn't stick on you. And this is a good example of letting it dry too much because it is coming out tacky. Alright, we're going to try again. We're not in the event that it does it to you, you can do light fingers as well. Just make sure that your finger has a lot of glue on it so that you're not catching and tearing the napkin. Now this Mod Podge, if you use the one that's in your kit, it is a gloss, so it will seal a little bit shiny. And again, if you don't want to do the second coat, if you're like, oh, I don't want to deal with the bubbles, then do a second coat. Because we're not using this for outside or anything like that. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to come back to my bow. Now, there's a couple, really it's up to you where you want to put the bow. You can actually put the bow on the design if you want. You can put it on the frame, you can put it on the handle. Since ours is kind of chubby, I am probably going to put it on the outside of the frame, and I'm going to keep it on the right hand side because on the design, the S comes up kind of high and I don't want to block that. Alright, so I'm just going to blob a thing of glue right here on the corner of it. And enable it a little bit in there. And so she looks like that. So I am going to let this dry a little bit before I put it in, so I won't do that on the video, but if you keep watching, it'll show the finished product at the end. But I do want to thank you for joining me today for the Sisters in Straight napkin kit. Again, we picked this verse as a collab, so we envision this project for one that you do in a group with your best friend, in your small group, in your women's ministry, because it is important that as sisters we stay strong, we support each other, and that we lift each other up. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial today. Make sure, if you're not already, in our Christian Crafts and DIY group on Facebook, you get in there, tons of great ideas, great way to connect with other Christian crafters. And until next time, thanks for watching. Happy crafting!